This is the bizarre video that I filmed 1st of December, 7:50 p.m. and I couldn't believe it. I just grabbed my camera. Now this looks like a floating humanoid alien. I'll actually pause it. Now I had to enlarge the pictures using a camera iPhone, and I tested the next day at the same time if it flashes light blue and dark blue, which it does. So it's actually some sort of sensor there at that time of night. But the bizarre thing is this floats upright. Now obviously the first thing, it's a helium balloon, but the legs are very thin, the arms are thin, it keeps perfectly upright. There's hardly any movements of the arms and legs. It just floated very slowly. There was hardly any wind. It stayed there for about 10 minutes, very slowly in one direction, which was bizarre because there wasn't any wind around, which I could sense. Now I have to analyze it seriously because I've seen the last few days around that appeared some orbs appearing as well, which I filmed high up. These were pulsating white ones and green ones. So what do? You have to analyze it, film it, enlarge it, pictures, then compare all these other things on YouTube which look the same and have been filmed by other people, and try to work out any sensible explanation why it happened to appear in front of you. There it is. So I've actually zoomed into it. To me it appeared as about 300 feet away, 400 feet away or more. It's probably about 100 feet up. There's the film as it slowly turns around. It spun clockwise and counterclockwise, but it seemed to point towards me each time that I filmed it. Bizarre, isn't it? I just don't know what to say out of it. Now, it was a Sunday afternoon, so you could have had children's parties happening or something like that. There it is. I'm just freezing it. A similar thing was filmed over the NASA rocket launch. They call it the NASA frog, but it also has the long legs to it, and quite a few people have called this the Kermit the Frog UFO. As you see, the actual feet look like big shoes. And there it is. Bizarre. The arms are upright. I don't know what to say about it because it just floated at that constant height, went in a constant direction. I filmed it for about 10 minutes in that direction, and this is the last film. It just gets smaller and smaller gradually, and it gets a darker and it was filmed from 10 to 8 till 8 o'clock, and there it is. It's just, it always seems to stay upright. So if there's any helium in the legs and arms, it should be floating horizontal. It doesn't make sense why it should stay that upright. Now it gets a bit too small, so I'm actually using a Fuji SL300. That's 30 optic zoom. I'll just enlarge the pictures. It's starting to get a bit too small now. There it is. It just rotates sort of clockwise, counterclockwise. It's always upright. I'll now stop it because it just is the same video of the same object gently spinning around, and I'll process the large pictures now. These are the enlarged pictures which I just enlarged using a camera iPhone. There it is there. That's a very good picture there. That's a very good one. That to me is the closest that I can get to it without any sort of blurring. And as you see, it's got like two big ears, a crest, arms, very big feet. So again, everyone is saying it's obviously a helium balloon. twisting around there. It just seems very bizarre that it's obviously... Now this was a picture which I took on the camera. It's in one position. You can see like that's grey and that's green. Now the reason that's strange, a green one was actually filmed over China, and that was green as well. So that's why this is starting to get a bit serious, because obviously all the other ones filmed around the world looked very similar to this one. Okay, I'll just quickly go to the articles on YouTube now. As you see, if you just type in YouTube, the one over China appeared green as well, and it had those two dark legs and what looked like pretty big shoes. So that's why this is now getting strange. This was actually a chap with a camera which looked about probably 50 optic, testing his camera out, and at the start it looks pretty normal until he zooms in. So this is where he zooms in and tests the camera. Now this little blob will appear towards the end when he actually freezes it, and it's green. It's got like two legs to it, same as mine. So let's go to the end. This is where he freezes the photos, and you can see that green floating thing very slowly float around. There it is there. So it appears to actually float around the building. So I'll actually take it to that spot again towards the end. So that's him just playing with his camera. He zooms in more, and right at this spot here, I'll just enlarge it. This is where he finds the image of this green thing, freeze frame photo. That's it there. This is the one filmed over. This is another one that's been filmed. So again, there's quite a few people filming these bizarre things. It isn't just me. Just enlarge that. That looks less like the one I filmed, obviously. So I'll just take that one back. The other one that was bizarre is this one here. This was, I think, in Chile. So most of these observations are happening in South America. This is a very hard film to picture. It's very hard to picture this one. The shapes are there, but the zoom's not that strong. The other one is a NASA frog. This is a good one, but I think this is a flying object. So, bizarre flying humanoids causing a panic. Obviously that's not the one. That topic jumps. So really here I'm just trying to concentrate on these flying things. Now if you just type in a NASA frog, you'll see the same thing being pictured. The long legs, very thin, and they're calling it a frog, and it just happened to be jumping out of a pond and it's been caught on film. I doubt that. I think we're looking at the same thing here that I filmed. So they call it a frog, which is a photobombed a rocket launch. But if I pause it and enlarge it, you see how it's got the long legs. It hasn't got those a big type of boots. It's got the very small arms. That's a humanoid. That isn't a frog. So I'm just comparing it quickly to all the other things here on the net. So yeah, there's that NASA frog, and then you've got all those humanoids floating around in Chile and Mexico and stuff like that. They're bizarre. Here they are with 2 arms, 2 legs as well. Same thing again. This is obviously somewhere in South America. 2 arms, 2 legs. Everyone's saying they're balloons, they're hoaxes, but there's too many people filming them everywhere. I don't think there's anyone out there just throwing these balloons around. Looks like my image was one of the clearest ones that anyone's caught. This is a good one because it actually shows what a balloon would behave like if it's in the shape of a human. It'll actually float in all sorts of directions. So there it is. It's the same shape as a human. It's obviously filled with gas, and it will float in all directions. It won't become horizontal. And the one I filmed was pretty black, and the one they filmed around the world was also black. So that's why, again, I'm starting to get nerves. A very strange feeling about this is this was the real thing. It's just popping up everywhere as being. This is that strange one in Mexico that looks like a witch sitting on some sort of flying craft. There it is. Same thing again. It's black. So obviously someone's had a camera and filmed it accidentally, like I filmed mine. There it is again. I don't know what to say. And there it is, starting to walk away and then float. That's crazy. There you go. What can I say? This was that story about the policeman attacked by a flying humanoid creature. He looked very scared. I remember that one. But the one that I find the best out of all the ones that I've googled is this one. You've got the black boots, which you see here. You've got the green. I'm just going back to it there. You see the big black boots? I filmed the same things, and mine look green as well. And the legs look grey. There it is. There it is, right there. I'll actually go towards the end of this again. There's the freeze frame. So something is floating around. The camera caught it. It looks like a 50 optic zoom on this one, but obviously it's not focused on it, so it's pretty hard to capture. Just go a bit forward. So that's it there. And there it is as it goes around. It looks to be floating, obviously.